Are your tomato plants failing despite your best efforts? Are you seeing wilted leaves, cracked fruit, or worse, no fruit at all? It might not be your fault. You could be making simple, silent killer mistakes that are destroying your harvest without you even realizing it. Let's fix that right now, because today we're busting a huge myth that's wasting your time, and I've got a bonus trick at the end that almost no one talks about, but it can supercharge your tomatoes like crazy. Hi, I'm Tony O'Neill from Simplified Gardening with over 40 years in the soil, best-selling gardening books and 18 years helping gardeners on YouTube. I've learned one thing: the small stuff makes the biggest difference, and today's small shift could mean your biggest harvest ever. Let's dive in. Timing is everything, and tomatoes, they're picky. Plant too early and one cold night can wipe out your seedlings. Plant too late and your tomatoes will be racing the clock to ripen before the season ends. Either way, you lose. Here's the science. Tomatoes won't absorb nutrients properly until the soil temperature hits 60 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 16 Celsius, consistently. And I'm talking about soil temperature, not air. Plant into cold soil, you're stunting growth before your plants even have a chance. Here's the fix. Wait until your soil stays above 60 degrees for at least 3 straight days. If you're still eager, use cloches, row covers or garden fleece to keep your seedlings protected. Patience here means a stronger harvest later. Tomatoes are solar powered. They crave at least 8 hours of full sun every single day. Plant them in the shade and you're growing leaves, not fruit. Without sunlight, photosynthesis drops, leading to weak, poor growth and poor fruit set and bland tomatoes. Here's the fix. Find the sunniest spot. South facing is perfect, but if still too shady, use a reflective mulch like silver plastic to bounce the light back onto your plants. More light means more sugars and better flavour. Here's the truth. Tomatoes hate neighbours when they're too close. Cram them together and airflow tanks. That traps moisture, creating a breeding ground for fungal diseases like blight and mildew. Plus, they compete for nutrients. The result is that you get smaller plants and fewer tomatoes. Here's the fix. Determinate tomatoes need 18 inches of space. Indeterminate, the vining kind, need 2 to 3 feet. Bonus tip. Prune the lower leaves up to the first flower cluster. This improves airflow and keeps disease at bay. Watering seems simple, right? Wrong. Inconsistent watering is the silent assassin of tomato crops. Too much water drowns the roots. Too little, your plants stress out, causing blossom end rot and fruit splitting. Overhead watering, that's an open invitation for disease. Here's that fix. Water deeply, once or twice a week. Aim for 6 to 8 inches deep into the soil. Add a mulch to lock in moisture and always water at the base, never the leaves. Tomatoes are heavy feeders. If your pH is off, your plants can't even absorb nutrients, even if they're present. Here's the fix. Add compost, worm castings or aged manure before planting. Check the pH. Tomatoes love 6.2 to 6.8 on the pH scale, and adjust with lime or sulfur if needed. Add mycorrhizal fungi. This helps roots absorb more nutrients naturally. Feed the soil and the soil feeds the plants. This one's controversial, but it could save you time and stress. You don't have to rotate tomatoes every year. Crop rotation helps only if there's a disease or pest pressure. If your soil is healthy, you can plant in the same spot year after year. Focus on soil health first. That's the key. Use cover crops, compost and build up microbial life. Rotation is a tool, not a rule. Mulch isn't just for looks. It's a harvest game changer. Bare soil loses moisture, it invites weeds, and when it rains, soil splashes diseases onto your plants. Here's the fix. Add 2 to 4 inches of mulch, straw, shredded leaves or compost. Keep mulch 1 to 2 inches away from the stems to prevent rot. Mulch acts like a blanket or a shield and is a free insurance. Are your tomato plants loaded with fruit? They're heavy and vulnerable without support. Vines snap or the fruit lays on the soil and rots. Here's the fix. Use stakes, cages or trellises and install them when planting to avoid root damage. Tie plants with soft twine or fabric strips. And here's a bonus. Try the Florida weave for a simple, low-cost solution for rows. Pests are sneaky and they can destroy your plants overnight. Aphids, hornworms and spider mites, they're all waiting for a chance. Here's the fix. Inspect your plants weekly, flip the leaves and check the underside. Plant basil and marigolds nearby, they repel pests. And for infestations, use neem oil or insecticidal soap. And hand-pick pests, yes, it's gross, but it works. More fertilizer equals more tomatoes? Wrong. Too much nitrogen will give you lush leaves but no fruit. Here's the fix. Use a balanced fertilizer or one with a low nitrogen and high phosphorus count. Something like a 5-10-10 NPK. Follow the label's instructions. If you're overfeeding, it can harm your plants more than help. Not all plants are good neighbours. Corn, cabbage, potatoes, they compete for nutrients or attract pests. Here's the fix. Avoid those, instead plant basil, chives and marigolds with your tomatoes. They repel pests and boost flavour. Here's a bonus for you. Add sulphur for supercharged tomatoes. Here's a secret weapon most gardeners don't know. Sulphur, it boosts flavour, disease resistant and it helps plants use nitrogen efficiently. Here's how to use it. Just 1 tablespoon of elemental sulphur per plant onto the soil, or use a poultry manure rich in sulphur, or opt for organic fertilizers with sulphur added. Don't overdo it. Test your soil first and if you're unsure. This tip could be a game changer. Now, if you want to dive deeper into sulphur and learn the exact methods I used to double vegetable growth, you need to watch this video next. It's called Experts Hate This Sulphur Hack Doubles Vegetable Growth. Trust me, it's the next step to take your harvest to the next level. I'm Tony O'Neill and this is Simplified Gardening. I'll see you there. Bye.